the communities together.
Okay.
And we're working towards resolving the opioid crisis.
Can the mic be angled over there? So right now it's in her face. Thank you.
Okay, you need to pull it up to your face, though. Just pull it forward.
But a little bit more. There you go. Okay. So thank you.
Better?
Yeah, that's
better. How is she looking on our camera then?
Not too bad.
Okay.
Yep, I think it looks good.
We'll make Sharon happy.
Microphone. It's in a good spot, I believe.
Miller and Farmers.
Yes.
Or Farmers and Millers.
Well, still that stubborn fog lingering around the Panhandle and the region with our temperature 70 degrees, humidity at 100%, and the winds are calm. Coming up, more Eastern Panhandle talk with Rob and Dave.
And Lisa, that's Becker.
Yes.
135 years.
Well, it's nice to meet you. Sorry, I was rushing around here.
135 years. We've been helping families through the hardest times.
Is that your copy or mine? Oh, no, this is my copy down here.
When your family loses a loved one, we're here to help.
Yeah, in fact, when I get done with this, I'm flying. I'm driving a BWI, meeting my crew. We're flying to Columbus and shooting all day tomorrow. I won't be on
About
the
what?
show tomorrow. We're doing a corporate shoot for a really interesting kind of a corporate culture shoot at a high-tech company in Columbus tomorrow. It's owned by an Indian, from India, who has this whole thing. He calls it touches his heart when he meets you. Instead of shaking it, he touches his heart. And it's like happy to be your servant. I mean, it's a whole servant mentality for a company.
Aww.
So I think personally kind of overplays it, really. But they're an incredibly successful high-tech company. They just got a $20 million contract with the federal government.
Wow.
The whole corporate nature of the place is ping pong tables and pool, and,
Love it.
a whole different kind of Google kind of environment.
Exactly.
So it should be kind of fun.
Warm and fuzzy.
He says
We're all about
he
it.
has a contest going on now called the Dream On, and everyone that works for him is supposed to come up with an idea. And if they come up with an idea that they can market, they get like 5% of the profits of the profit of the company or something.
Cool.
Here we go.
Can you put this on?
Welcome back into the show, the second hour of Eastern Panhandle Talk with Rob and Dave. I am the Dave part, Matt Miller, in for Rob, who I guess is winding his way back, Matt, from a wedding in Pittsburgh. I think it was his sister's daughter who got married, his niece. And then Joe Ferretti told us on Friday when he was here that there's nothing like an Italian Catholic Pittsburgh wedding. So Rob may have needed the extra day to recover.
Not only recover, but then I think he has to break down all the film from the Friday night high school football game that Oakdale had. So.
And his high school team on Friday night, I don't know if you know this or not, but I think they beat the Maryland State champions on Friday night by quite a big score. So I guess this has been a great weekend overall for the Robster. This segment of Eastern Panhandle Talk sponsored by Miller Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Route 9 east of Martinsburg, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty, and also Farmers and Mechanics Insurance Companies. When it comes to your home, auto, farm, or business, we're trusted, reliable, and experienced. Just a program note also that in the 9:30 hour, we'll be joined by Lisa Stiles and the Musselman.
That would be Laurie.
I'm so sorry. I have Lisa here.
Yes.
Laurie Stiles. Sorry about that at the 9:30 hour. And we never know if she's bringing in, some of the actors or the kids in an upcoming play. But we always look forward to her visits here, and it's nice to know what's going on down in the south part of the county.
School's out today. It's Columbus Day, so I'm figuring there might be a couple of those.
It is Columbus Day, Matt, but it is also National Indigenous Peoples Day in some parts of the country, or National Native American Day. And as you know, my grandmother, my father's mother, is a 100% full-blooded Native American, which makes me fourth, and which is quite a bit, actually, when you think about it, in the year 2018. So that makes Rob and I the perfect combo today, the Italian and the Native American. So
And Rob's not here.
Yeah, that has been somewhat controversial. I do know that I have quite a few Italian friends, dear friends, who feel very frustrated that Columbus Day is not celebrated as it once was. I remember growing up when all the the schools were all out, and it was a kind of a real important holiday.
Right, and now that's changing.
Yeah, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. That's what I remember from my history books. It is no secret that in West Virginia and in the Eastern Panhandle and probably throughout the nation that drug addiction and especially the opioid epidemic has been an incredibly important and sad part of American culture over the past decade. Some say that we've lost a generation to this incredibly sad drug addiction. And as you know, if you listen to this show, we take this issue very, very seriously. We talk to a lot of people. Kevin Knowles at the Resource Recovery Center, Chief Maury Richards in the police department and the Martinsburg Initiative. We have approached this issue from as many angles as possible. And in some ways, in many ways, I think it's extremely refreshing that so many folks are involved in this, from the law enforcement side, from the recovery side, and also from the side that we might not think of a lot, and that might be perhaps if you will, just the spiritual side, for lack of a better way of putting that. And our guest today, Lisa Becker, who is with Martinsburg Renew. Welcome to the show. It's nice to have you.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Talk to us about Martinsburg Renew generally, what the mission is, and why you have taken this issue on as kind of a centerpiece of what the organization is doing.
Okay, when I first got involved with Martinsburg Renew, I met Andrew Garcia. He was at a viewing or a showing of the what was the show? Heroin E. It was a Shepherd University.
Right, yeah.
Yes. So they had a panel up there, and as I listened,
that was a great, powerful movie.
Very, very good. I'd seen it several times, but I wanted to go watch it there because I knew there was going to be a question and answer, and there would be people there that are more involved. And I had been wanting to get involved in a faith-based organization to, try to go to battle for this. And when I listened to Andrew Garcia, I knew that was the group that I wanted to be involved in. His big vision is to buy the Interwoven Mills building in Martinsburg, which is huge, and he wanted to be able to have like a resource center, rehab, anything that would assist people that are struggling with the opioid crisis. So that was very interesting to me, and so I started going to the meetings once a month to find out what I could do.
Now, how is that vision progressing at all, to have a recovery center in that location?
No, not yet. That's like I said, that's the big picture.
That's the big picture.
So in the idea is to start getting people interested, informed, educated, and involved, so we can start moving forward with this.
From the perspective as you get into this issue, is the opioid crisis leveling off, getting better, getting worse? I asked Kevin Knowles the same question last week. How is it from your perspective?
I don't have a professional answer for that, but personally, no. It's just
one addiction is probably too many. One death is probably too many.
Yes, I have a close friend that will be speaking at the event. We'll be talking in a little bit, and she has, in the last probably 3-4 years, I think she's gotten 250 to 300 people into recovery, or not recovery, into rehab, detox and rehab.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes.
You mentioned the event. Let's talk about the event. What is the event and when does it happen?
It will be October 27th, and it will be on the grounds of Fellowship Bible Church in Jefferson County. They have a wonderful pavilion there, like 50 acres, that will provide a nice place to have this event. I wanted to be able to offer information and education because I've been to a few of these events myself, and it's been very, very eye-opening. But I wanted to make it a little bit more fun, and so I decided, everybody loves music, and so I decided to have a variety of music there, and then in between music, we'll have some information and education and testimonies and speakers, but everyone that will be speaking there and the musicians are all Christians, so we'll be coming at it from a Christian perspective, but the Charlie Frederick and I, might want to say more about him later because you probably know him better than I do.
Well, I love the guy. I'm sad that he didn't come with you today.
Well, when I was talking to him about this, my heart for trying to get just get the word out and get people involved, he said, well, I think, we need to let the people know that this is a spiritual battle we're fighting, and we need to put on the full armor of God. And anyone that is Christian knows exactly what that means to put on the full armor of God. And so we decided that we'd really target the churches. Obviously anyone is invited to come, but I've been going to churches all over Jefferson and Berkeley County to inform them of what's going on and either like to get them involved, but at the very least get the people to come out so they can see what we have to say.
Talk to us specifically about how the role that churches can play in this opioid crisis.
Well, we need support. Obviously, money. I don't like to make anything about money, but you have to have money, especially for something like this.
Oh, sure.
To have a rehab.
Yeah.
So
you don't have to apologize for that.
Yeah.
It does take resources.
Yeah. Well, and some people are just, they just. Ask the question again. I think.
I know that specifically the role that churches and
Yes,
faith-based
if
communities can play in
Well,
this.
if we can find, I started interviewing pastors when I first started putting this together, and I had just a list of questions that I would ask all of them to kind of trying to see where they are, what they know, and what they would like to find out. But in the end, I asked all of them. I said, if you know for sure of a reputable, solid, faith-based rehab type program in the Eastern Panhandle, would you support it? And almost all of them said yes. But we need to prove that it's going to be reputable and a program that they would want to support.
So at this point in time, this is I'm sensing the beginning of a movement here in the Eastern Panhandle. It's bringing the faith-based communities and the churches together to become more organized.
Unified.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so as they become more organized, and by the way, this looks like a fabulous event. This is from, I just want to say from 11 to 3 on October 27th, 2018 at the Fellowship Bible Church Pavilion, 140 Daniel Road, Shenandoah Junction, West Virginia. I guess that'd be over by the high school, wouldn't it?
It's off of Country Club Road, going towards Shepherdstown.
Okay, and this is a number of Christians from multiple churches coming together with song and food and good time, and then a lot of different kinds of testimonies.
Yes.
Will the testimonies be, and I notice you have pastors, medical and behavioral health specialists, law enforcement. Who are some of the law enforcement, pastors, and medical and behavioral health specialists that will be there?
Okay, so obviously Andy Garcia, that is the president of Martinsburg Renew, he will be speaking on behalf of obviously Martinsburg Renew, Martinsburg Initiative, and then just his experience as a police officer. Then we'll have Pastor Ron Larson will be there. Colby Davis is a nurse from Samaritan Clinic. Are you familiar with Samaritan Clinic? They've been around for 13 years. And so they have a lot of people that come in off the streets that get free service by doctors and the nurses. That everyone volunteers there. So that's a great organization. So I've asked her to come and speak from the medical aspect of how the heroin is affecting the brain especially. That's what I was hoping to get from a medical doctor, because when I went to the first event I went to, I was very impressed when I heard from a medical viewpoint how the heroin changes the chemistry of the brain, and it's not an easy thing to overcome.
I've been told that one can get addicted to heroin on one use. Is that?
I have heard that as
That's
well.
incredibly scary.
Yeah, that's how addictive it is, yes.
So as you then move forward, will you be attacking this problem from the recovery side, the prevention side, the education side? Where do you think that this organization sort of fits in?
That's a good question, because I see it from, and I was telling my friend that, I watched another documentary called The Heroin Trail, or The Trail to Heroin, and they start with the poppy seed in Colombia, and they go all the way through, and they interview the cookers, they interview the addicts and the family. It's such a huge problem, and my heart is, if I were to choose one aspect, I think it's very important to have some kind of a program for transition out of rehab back into the world, because that is where I think a lot of people are falling back, because people are scared, they don't trust them, they don't want to help them because they're afraid. And I mean, for what everybody has their different reasons, but it's also very discouraging for that recovering addict, just because it's hard to find a job. Most of them have records, and it's just very, very difficult.
And I think that if you told me that I asked a good question, I would tell you that you gave a great answer, because I think you're exactly right. What you have here, and we talked to Kevin Knowles about this when he was on the show last week, that that when Kevin helps someone, and Kevin's organization and organizations like that helps someone recover, a drug addict recover, and then re-enter the world, there are a lot of jobs out there right now, and obviously they all want sober employees. They want employees who, if they have had an addiction, they want to be able to demonstrate through testing or whatever that they're clean and that they are ready to go do this job. But there is a stigma attached, yes. I would imagine, and re-entering the world is so crucial, because what happens if they go out and try to re-enter the world as a sober person and they fall short?
Yes.
Oftentimes they'll go right back to the drugs again.
Exactly. That's what they know.
And they do need that kind of support. That would be a great role for this organization to play, and I wish you best of luck with that, because I think that's one of the areas that I'm not seeing, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe there are organizations that are really active in this, but I'm not seeing a lot in that kind of gap from the recovering patient to entering the world. I don't hear, at least on this show, I don't hear a lot of talk about that.
That's where I would like to see the church step in.
Exactly. Because, I think that's fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, once they reach that point where they're recovered and they're doing well, there's no reason, in my opinion, that people can't just reach out and even offer their home. I know it's a scary thing, but
that would be frightening as all get out for most people, I would imagine.
Yes, I mean, I've done it myself.
Have you?
I have. I used to work with Bethany Christian Services, and they have Safe Families for Children, and they also are an adoption agency, but they have a really difficult time getting families to open their homes to help these people. And we do understand, my husband and I, we've been there and done that, but you got to take some risks sometime, and you have a heart to help someone, and you just got to do it. And I just want to see more people stop being afraid.
We're talking with Lisa Becker. She is with Martinsburg Renew. They are a faith-based organization that is finding a way, by organizing the multiple churches in the Eastern Panhandle, to get involved in fighting the incredibly sad opioid epidemic that is, in their words, topping the charts in the state of West Virginia and taking the lives of our youth. And that's what you're trying to fight against, because yes. You're tired of it topping the charts.
Yes, and I'd like to say one more thing too, please. We in church we say, we'll pray for you, and we do pray, and we totally believe in the power of prayer, but we can't just say I'll pray for you and just let that go. And so another thing I really want to
I used to have an old friend that used to say his favorite sayings, I pray like it's all up to God, and I work like it's all up to me. And I've always liked that saying.
That. So, but if nothing else, if we can just get the churches to start praying, in groups, or if they don't already have a midweek prayer time, or if they just want to schedule time to pray just for the opioid crisis, I would just love to see that, and I believe it would be very powerful.
Again, the Martinsburg Renew will be holding a fabulous event on October the 27th, 2018, 11 to 3 at the Fellowship Bible Church Pavilion at 140 Daniel Road in Shenandoah Junction. And if you have any desire to go and be a part of this, please do so. The phone number is 304-283-3209. Lisa, is that your phone number?
That is mine.
And is there an online presence too? Can they Google Martinsburg Renew and
Oh, yes.
go on?
Yes. Yeah, they have a Facebook page and they have a website, yes.
Facebook and website. So if you were just to Google Martinsburg Renew or to go on Facebook and put in Martinsburg Renew, you can get a lot more details on this. The speakers, are there going to be testimonies from patients themselves or recovering addicts?
As of now, I have a testimony that will be from a gentleman named Dennis, that he actually works at the Daily Report Center in Berkeley County.
Mm-hmm.
And I had approached him to speak on behalf of Daily Report Center, but he said he would rather, well, he will speak on their behalf, but he has his own testimony. He's like 10 years clean, and he's a very solid Christian guy, and I know that he will do well with that. And also, I would, I think I would like to have someone that's very closely involved, maybe a testimony, but I don't know if someone's willing to, put their emotions out there like that.
Well, you never know when you get into an event like that. It is one thing leads to another sometimes. Someone might be sitting there and say, "Well, I'm kind of shy and I don't want to get up and give a testimony, but I'm going to get up. The Spirit is moving me." And
I never thought of that. That would be awesome.
Lisa Becker, thank you so much for being here this morning, for sharing this. This is an important part of this battle against the opioid crisis, and promise you'll keep us posted as you go forward, because we'd like to hear from you again.
Thank you so much.
Lisa Becker. We're going to take just a short break. Matt Miller and David Welch here on Eastern Panhandle Talk. We're going to be back with Lori Stiles and the Musselman Theater Group. Stay with us.